believe me, I get it.
Yes, you do, I know you do.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, does anybody have anything they'd like to remove from the consent agenda?
I do not.
No public comments, Russell?
Nothing for today, sir.
Don't be quiet over here.
I like it that way.
We do too.
New Business Administration 5607, resolution authorizing the township administrator to incur obligations greater than $10,000 on behalf of the township and dispense with the second reading.
Yeah, it started out with two items on it as an emergency resolution. Mr. Mayor's calling here, it's just one item that's there, fire hose to outfit our new fire engine, and it's $11,330. Again, this will not be an emergency measure, it's just dispensing with the second reading, and will be effective the very day.
Okay, is there a motion to approve 5607 and dispense with the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And 5608, a resolution adopting Warren County Unified Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan, five-year plan update and dispense with the second reading.
Yeah, this is an exercise emergency management takes on every 5 years because the statute says we have to. It's a valuable exercise to review some of our bigger vulnerabilities, our capabilities, put it all on paper. There's an extensive document in the packet that kind of demonstrates what we do. So they ask that each local that participates in it adopts it as part of the overall county effort and send a copy of the resolution to them. So I put that before you today and ask you to approve it. Take effect over 31 days as usual.
Okay, so a motion to approve 5608.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have a recommendation to make a conditional offer of a probationary part-time employment to Hunter Wiseman as a part-time person at $18 an hour, pending acceptable pre-employment screening.
Yeah, so there's mutual interest in bringing Hunter back as a part-time parks crew person. A few years ago to try to get full-time employment, but was not successful in doing so or didn't care to in whatever location that he might have had it available. So expressed a mutual desire to come back to the township and make that an part-time offer.
Okay. Is there a motion to make this offer to hire to Hunter Wiseman for the park crew?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have a transport discussion on ODOT's roundabout at 48 and 95 Point Road.
So yeah, we've got 3 discussion topics for transportation, and one that's bubbled up considerably the last couple of weeks is the roundabout at this intersection of 5 Points, well, the proposed intersection is funded for year 2028, I think. Say around 48 mile 5 Points Road. Appears the majority of the landowner there would prefer to see traditional turn lanes instead of a single lane roundabout there. And been in contact with a number of staff as well as the board as well. But I wanted to tee that up for discussion today because at the end of the day, the request from that landowner has been he would like the trustees' collective support in his effort to try to get traditional turn lanes there, stacking and dedicated left-hand turn lanes there. And so with that, I wanted to open the floor to discussion of that topic and his request for your support. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate his request and don't have a problem talking about it. My only concern about it is, you know, we approved this 20 years ago for a large development in that corner, and it's 20 years later and here we are. And unless he can show us some kind of contract that he has a least working on, show us something that that's going to be done in the near future. I don't want to wait another 20 years, or I don't want Clearcreek Township to wait another 20 years before we make that intersection. Now, do I think turn lanes are better than a roundabout for the heavy traffic if he builds that? Yes, I do, personally. But I'm not a traffic engineer, but I think big long turn lanes and probably double turn lanes in there, if they put in the Walmart or whatever they're going to do. But, I don't wanna do it on the comp. I mean, it's just, he'll wait another 20 years. And, well, he's a businessman, he waits till he gets the right deal, and I get that. Heck, yeah. Hey, if he can't go build those and put his money into it, now I know he wants some help, with that, I understand that. If he doesn't have something going, he's not gonna put in $1 million of his own money out of pocket. Maybe. He's capable of doing whatever he wants. Sort of like his statement. Anyway, that's my opinion. I mean, I like roundabouts, but I'm not in love with roundabouts. I think that some good long, turn lanes probably would be better out there than a single lane roundabout. That's my thoughts.
So, yeah, and I concur. I have a couple more thoughts on the overall idea that my experience with them, and I travel a lot in Indiana, where they're next to pork tenderloin, the most popular thing in Indiana. They work well where they work well, which is not necessarily on a county road that is a 55-mile-per-hour highway. Again, I'm not a traffic engineer either, but I've never seen them in that application because of the fluidity of the traffic. And as well, in a commercial application, which 3 corners of that road are, of that intersection are, I should say, they don't do them in that application in Indiana, which they've done a lot. They've done a lot of both over there. I was just over there again 2 weeks ago, and where they have retail, they don't have roundabouts. They have intersections with turn lanes, and where they have a lot of residential and a lot of traffic flow that's 35 mile per hour and the like, I'll use one of Jeffrey's terms, they do use roundabouts. So I don't know how they arrived at a roundabout. Yes, exactly right. That works fantastically there. I'd love to understand how they arrived at it on 48 and Lyle. I don't understand that. Because Mr. Gunlock's concern, and I understand it, is it does gobble up more of the land and creates a bigger challenge for people to get in and out of a retail type of setting. So, I concur with Mr. Wade. He obviously has his own motives for this. You know, he basically owns the other 3 corners other than the cemetery. You know, this discussion for him is truly with ODOT, not necessarily with us, as we know with the roads are a county road and a state, you know, a state route. So, you know, I would like to see something done. We don't have that many commercial opportunities. I do believe there are advantages for us in the long term for that, based on some things that have been done in other jurisdictions. I do know that Austin Landing has a tax advantage for Miami Township, that they get money back from it, everything but the food. There's advantages to that for us. So I could see it being advantageous in the long term. We obviously have obligations that will grow with it for police and fire and roads, for that matter, at some level. So, you know, I know he's meeting with ODOT, I believe tomorrow, to discuss it. But, you know, from our end of things, I think that we need to see how that goes for him before we pursue it further. And to your point, what plans does he have? Who does he have them with? Understanding you guys approved it in 06, I see part of the 07 was the downturn for the economy, but it's now been 18 years since then. And if the economy's bounced back, is brick and mortar retail bounced back enough for them to be viable, or is he just simply protecting an asset by doing that? So, I wanna see something there.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it does, and it's our only opportunity that has sewer, and he saw to that. So, for the residents, then that's our growing area. For the residents that are growing with it, I would think they would like to see something as well. So, if that solves that, I think it's a good thing, but we need to see some action on both ends. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Do you think that, bless you, remember, I can't remember, I can't remember the plan exactly, but I was thinking rather than, I was thinking there were multiple tenants in a longer subdivision that kind of turned, or subdivision, new building that kind of turned and had some style to it, rather than just a box.
Yeah, the facade's broken up so it looks like multiple tenants. It could be a single tenant with that facade, or it
So
could be
it's just
truly
a-
broken up into smaller chunks. That's what the thought pattern was. You guys didn't want to have to come back and do a revamp if the big box didn't work out, so to speak. So that's part of the stage 2 approval. So it, again, 20 years has gone by, it's been outlined, there may be tweaks. If so, then that would be a stage 2 modification. If he's going through with the current plan, it would just be a stage 3 with his own commission.
More in the mind, we talked about this earlier, and I got up to speed by looking at the original approval.
Okay.
I lived in Westerville at one time in our lives, and that's what they did up there with the Meyer, and the Kroger. It literally looks like an old shopping town, but it's just one tenant.
I recall we drove up there and looked at this.
So,
And he agreed to do it, yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Very agreeable.
yeah, at the time, that was the idea. If it's still the philosophy of this board, with this type of big box you want,
Sure.
then there's no need to change what's already approved.
Yeah.
If ever there was something that came up that you needed to tweak, then that would be a discussion.
well, I think they added, and I did meet with them, and just to get, I didn't have a rapport that Mr. Waite did, and never talked with him about it. I think the added incentive is that he lives here, and he wants something, and he knows that it's gonna reflect upon him as well, because he's never really done anything in our jurisdiction like that.
I like that.
So, there's an incentive on that end of it for him as well, so. But we definitely, I hear a lot from residents in that end of our township, that there's not a whole lot of options out there for anything. Whether it be to eat, to shop, to do anything, so. And
It's
sewer's
true.
a big piece to that puzzle.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get it at 4873, we know that. So,
Unless he wants to buy the whole thing and use his money to get the sewer there.
bring it down there, I don't know that I think that,
Yeah, that's a big pump.
it's a big pump, so.
Just as an addition, a caveat to this discussion, he did approach us about doing a TIF district there, which I have brief counseling on, and need to get with their resident TIF expert, named Brenda Weaver, if we are gonna entertain seriously doing a executive financing district for infrastructure there. So, just so the board knows that that's what
Well, it's something to consider, for sure.
And then this other discussion was community authority, which would be.
Which is what we're talking about with Miami Township, yeah.
So,
And that's based on the possible people that would be involved in that, could be some pretty good revenue for the township, so,
well, future discussions,
yeah.
but that's all things that are out there.
I didn't know,
understand
that was something, that community, so that's pretty, I didn't know they did that at Austin Landing, that's pretty interesting. That's a 1%. It's real money. So,
Yep.
you just can't do it on food.
Well, other than, wait to see how his meeting goes with ODOT and guys work on the, how the TIF could be beneficial to us. See what Mr. Gunlock comes back with, or, and I certainly don't wanna say no, if it's, don't wanna look a good horse in the mouth and don't look at his teeth, but it'd be very good. But anyway, it could certainly, they could use some help out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Sure. And then we have, crosswalk safety improvement at White Pine Points, signal trails, Glen Ridge Boulevard.
Yeah, I know our two trustees here today received an email from one who lives in the Leonard subdivision about the crosswalk safety up there, and I had no doubt that what she's telling us is truthful when I evaluation. It's not terribly well marked. It is fairly heavily densely populated up there, and I suspect there's a good number of kids from both the Sycamore Trails neighborhood as well as the Glen Ridge neighborhood that actually do walk to school with the sidewalk there. So, in the same vein as what used to be the Safe Routes to School program, the county engineer and sometimes the state even helped locals do improvements to crosswalks, particularly for mid-block crosswalks like that one. I know there's an example near Kings High School down in Candy Mills, Deerfield. I remember they did that when I was still there. And there's other instances of it too. So I wouldn't be looking for necessarily a circus of any kind, but some warning lights or possibly some LED flashing lights that warn when somebody pushes the button and there's somebody in the crosswalk.
The ones that, if you go through, I think the ones she referred to are the ones in town.
Slow down.
If you go down 741, they're pretty substantial, and I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
People, see, that
They get your attention.
Yeah,
Do they have the lights in the pavement?
No, it's just on the side. But if you miss them, you're trying to miss them. So, and they're instantaneous.
The thing with the one that on 105 is that it is a mid-block crosswalk.
Right.
There is no stopping traffic there otherwise.
Right.
That's what makes it particularly perilous in my mind, is that you've got traffic at speed. Hopefully during school zone hours, they're obeying it, but that's not always the case. So,
But it is that's a speedy stretch, there's no doubt about it.
So I could certainly look into what the holdup would be, and also talk to the county engineer to see if there's any interest in partnering with us to make something like that happen on their road, and obviously get their blessing to do so.
I think we would like to direct you, I don't know if we need to not spend any money now, but direct you to check into it, get as much info as you can, and bring us back some ideas, so.
For sure.
No ideas, yeah.
Ask Mr. Lips to kick in too, see what he can do for us.
Who did you?
Mr. Lips. Might as well get everybody involved.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have North Warren County Transportation Study Proposal from WCEO.
So if you take a look at the map that I made a copy of for you, this apparently was an idea that was born 20 years ago, particularly in the south side of the town, south side of the county, where they did a southern study. There was a parallel effort that never really got traction in the northern part of the county, but the new engineer, has expressed a desire to rekindle the effort to study what roadway improvements or even new roadways or connections could be made to improve both east-west and north-south travel in the northern half of the county. So the black line that you see on the map in front of you delineates generally the study area that they would like to entertain. And now comes the good news. He's looking for not only support for the plan effort, but also funding partners from it. At the meeting that I went to last week, there were 7 different communities represented in the room, plus the county engineer's office. And there haven't been any specifics in terms of figures that have been floated out, but they did make mention of the time that they did it in the southern end of the county, a $1 million study. And this one has been tentatively tagged with about a $3 million price tag in the study. But he did not get into specifics as to what kind of funding partner levels that he was looking at, so I really just come to you with, I guess, kind of a tin cup and sunglasses in hand without a real figure and say, you want to, the engineer's office wants some sort of a commitment.
Who paid for the one in the south?
What's that?
Who paid for the one in the south?
I think the locals and the county engineer, commissioners probably.
Can we find out how it was broken out?
I can, sure.
And can we get our crosswalk stuff done before we do that?
Right?
Yeah,
But,
we could certainly use some relief going south and east and west. You know, back when that was being discussed back in the day, that was, then Heatherwood got built, and several things that happened down on that side of town, kind of threw a wrench in the bypass. They had plain ground spread. It was a good idea at the time, but there were things that came along that were more politically prudent to do than that bypass. And that's what happened. So now makes it much harder and much more expensive as time goes on.
and I just want to be clear, he's not asking for $10,000, he's asking for 6 figures.
Understood.
Well, and maybe certainly too, I expect over a 3-year period or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is an effort that would be undertaken over the course of years. Paid for over the course of years, but
That's a big project.
it's a huge project. It involves many, many cities, municipalities, townships,
Yeah.
counties.
Look who they are.
This is true. But anyway, I wanted to put that on the trustee's radar and let you know that the ask has been made without specifics in terms of finances, so I can be careful in how I respond.
Yeah, we certainly, if they're gonna put it together, we're gonna have to participate to some level. We know we're not gonna fund the whole thing, but.
Well, you know, we're probably gonna figure in whatever routes they're choosing to, given our geographic location in that study area. It's gonna involve a substantial portion of land
Oh, yeah.
in our townships on the front.
Oh, absolutely. They can't stay out of it. Well, see what you can do, get some information and get some good idea to see how they funded the last one, how they broke it down.
That is a good question.
You know, and truthfully, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure of this, but I expect that the county's financial state is much better today than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Considerably. So, not that they're gonna let us lose, but that's okay, you know, I'm sure if they're.
Yeah, but they've got
supporting
more,
this,
yeah.
If they're supporting this, I expect that they'll come across with some.
And they just spent a whole bunch of money on the south end of the county, so maybe they'll help us out.
For sure. Okay.
just the township like that.
There are a few men left.
Anything else under transportation discussion?
No, I appreciate the board's input.
Or planning and zoning? Just
Nothing signature.
road department?
Nothing.
That's culvert pipe project in the,
We did 4 culvert pipes, 2 weeks ago on West Pekin in 4 days. And last week I did Whiteman Road, about 3/4 of a mile, 60-ton truck. And we had a pipe today. Rode 95 points and repaired 741.
how many more of those do you have? Like
We got, this is 6 or 7.
more to go?
6 or 7 done.
Yeah, 9.
11. So we got 4 more to go.
Did you finish red line 5 points today?
Yeah, we finished about 2:30.
Okay. So you don't need quotes tomorrow? Good.
Cape Seal going.
I've only had 1 complaint so far, so they're coming in maybe Wednesday to start the Cape Seal, or Thursday, depending on the weather. So they're coming in faster than what they anticipated, and then I had them re-sweep the roads, the paved roads this morning. So they're either gonna sweep today or tomorrow, depending on when they get the sweeper. Everybody kinda tracked some gravel out of them.
Yeah.
But, and it looks real nice.
Good deal.
Okay. Fire district? All right. Chief? That's good.
Man, I got nothing, I guess.
Did we get feedback, anybody, any indigestion with the National Night Out visit?
The moving of the date, no, nobody's said it either, but, it did free up some vendors for us. Because when we were doing National Night Out, nobody else was. And
Right.
then now it's growing. And
We're
the
splitting
surrounding
people up,
areas.
right?
And it was a fight to steal vendors now.
Sure.
And so by moving it, it freed up some of the vendors that they had beat us to the punch on to get. So hopefully, we'll see how it goes, so cooler weather maybe.
Yeah.
Heard nothing active about moving the day.
Good.
Anecdotally, August 5th was actually a pretty pleasant day.
Yeah, it turned out.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Turned out it was overcast and not bad. And we were driving to the park and said, tonight would have been National Night Out.
Yeah. My wife thought it was, she's like, why aren't we going to the, I'm like, we moved it. So, but no, I think it's a great idea.
Who knows how that would work out?
Yeah, it'll probably be 95 degrees.
Yeah, we're gonna try it.
Yeah, we'll be right
Be a
there.
pessimist, but that's my point.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll take the chance.
Okay, anybody have anything else? So we have the consent agenda, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And staff updates?
Speaking of the park, Mr. Gabbard, the tennis courts are finished, the repair, tennis courts finished, they did it really good. If you get a chance, go over there, take a look, and looking at the pricing, the portable nets for the now 4 pickleball striped tennis courts. Another good idea by Mr. Gabbard.
That's 2 for the year.
4, right?
Actually, 2 for tonight. Hey,
Fortunately, had
I mean,
enough space there where we
you're done.
could strike pickleball courts on each side of the
Oh,
permanent tennis net.
yeah,
So
yeah.
2 and 3 courts, we strike 4 pickleball courts on, we left 1 virgin tennis court. But, we needed to get some portable nets over there, so we did that too. The AEDs are on their way to being installed at the park, getting cameras installed, we need to put them in those locations so we can monitor them, make sure we're installing electric being run today, and the cameras should be all fixed. So that's what's going on over the park.
Just to be clear, I'm not gonna take full credit for the idea. One of Ed and I's favorite residents of now the city of Springwood, used to be a township resident, Jamie Krydoff, brought it to my attention when we were on a trip up north together. And she showed me pictures of the ones up in the Yankee Trace.
Just by good luck, we had just enough space.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern, but I think they looks awesome,
Yeah.
so. Now we just gotta pay for the minutes. Look for some donations.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to bring
Now
up?
that guy there, he must have a wall.
Okay, hearing no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.